right. Hello, everyone. Welcome into Comic Book Women. This is the third week of us covering horror comics, starting with gold, silver, and now we finally landed on modern, my personal favorite. So I'm excited about this one. Before we get started, thank you to Cover Price. All of the information that you're going to see on the slides comes directly from them. So if you are not already using them as a resource, check out the description for a coupon code to get 1 month of their unlimited membership for only 99 cents. And shout out to Bird City Comics, our sponsored retailers. Thank you guys. It all turned out for the Carla Cohen Crave #1 book. It did sell out, which was awesome. It was up there for almost an hour, though, which was longer than I was thinking it was good, but people had enough time to get to it, especially if you're text to the subline. That way you got a little alert. Yeah, ladies, are you guys ready to jump in?
Yes, let's do this.
Let's just dive right in. So again, we already covered gold and silver. So this week we're going to talk a little bit about some of the artists we're going to cover tonight, and then we'll jump straight into the content. So Steve Niles was Lucy's pick.
Yay! He is one of my favorite artists, writer, like everything. Like he's just so almost everything he does. And I just feel that he is not it's funny because I think one of his books was on the top 10 or the hot 10 with Brian and the guys that were talking about it last
Which
week.
book was it?
I want to say it was 30 Days of Night. I think it was one of the 30 Days of Night. I can't remember. But they were talking about him, and Brian even said, and I have said it many times too, that he is very not appreciated as much, like I feel like some of the writers aren't, as compared to the artists that, but he is just such an amazing writer, and he's one of my favorites, and we have had him on our show.
Yeah.
And
One of our first interviews was Steve.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, I reached out to him and I was so excited and so nervous for it because I just love Steve Niles. And if you don't know, obviously he wrote 30 Days of Night. He has done oh my gosh, so many. Some of the Spawn. He has wrote some of the Spawn. I'm like drawing blanks right now, but one of my favorites, and I have talked about it in one of my picks. But there's another one that it's the Winnebago Graveyard, and if you have not picked that one up, please do, because it's a small miniseries and it's just so good.
Yeah, this is a solid pick, Lucy. This is definitely somebody like when you think modern horror, his name comes to mind immediately.
Yes, and it's so fun. His social media too. Like I'm surprised he doesn't have that many followers. Which for me, it's like it blows my mind because he should be like for me he should be huge because he's such a legend for my perspective. I don't know, my opinion.
Yeah,
but
solid pick.
Yeah.
All right, very good. So that's person number one. Next up is Andrea Sorrentino, which was my pick. If you guys aren't familiar, he worked on Old Man Logan, which is one of my favorite Marvel story arcs. Probably that and like New X-Men by Grant Morrison would be like my top two, I would say. But anyway, Brian Bendis asked him to work on Old Man Logan. He had previously worked a little bit on Green Arrow, and he is the person that is behind one of my picks that's coming up later on called Gideon Falls. We will get to that momentarily, but yeah, he's a really talented man. He hasn't wanted to do any of the creator-owned stuff yet because he's like, I want to be paired with a writer that I feel like I work well with. And he's like, I'm not a good enough writer to do it on my own. But he's a fantastic artist. If you guys, again, if you read Old Man Logan, the art in that book is incredible. And it's a great story. So kind of a double whammy. All right, next up, Robert Hack. Sarah?
That is my pick. And I love that we're doing some of these like unnamed or if you don't recognize these artists. Robert Hack is he is the artist and co-writer of The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, which that's one of the comics that I picked for this series.
I didn't know that. See, I'm learning.
Yeah. And he just has this like specific style, and I think it's so simple, but it's creepy, and it just affects the story when you read them. So he's also done artwork for Dynamite, IDW, and of course Archie Comics. So Check out his IG. Sometimes he sells his original art too on his Instagram. So check him
I
out.
like when artists do that. Did you see that Art Germ had a auction up last night? It was for original art of one of the characters. I forget who it was, but it sold for $4,000.
Ooh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, and I just shared one of Robert's Instagram. It's on my stories because it was Sabrina and then like a little skeleton, and the way that it was just like a little funny caption he did. That was so good.
Yeah. Oh, very cool. I need to follow him now, Sarah.
Yes, absolutely. And also
Yeah,
he was,
I like
if
him.
you looked at Sabrina's show, he actually, the beginning, that's all his artwork.
Awesome. All right, so that's Robert Hack, and
I
then
think that's when I started following him. I think that's when I started following when Sabrina, and I heard that it was, or maybe before that, I can't remember. But
You're like, I'm sold. That's all I need to know. Last up was Charlie Adlard, which this was Jen's pick. This comes into play with her actual pick, which was Walking Dead. We learned a little bit about him, that he started really drawing fantasy and comic book style when he's about 6 or 7 years old, once his dad bought him Mighty Worlds of Marvel, which was the British adaptation of the US Marvel books in the 1960s. And he said ever since then, he was just absolutely hooked, that this was something that he always wanted to do. And then obviously The Walking Dead has been, he said The Walking Dead, he's like, it's basically what I've already been doing, just with zombies. And he's like, I could do this the rest of my life and I would be incredibly content, and very, very talented. We will take a look at some of his inks later on in the show here. But what did Jen say that she wanted me to bring up about him? Robert Kirkman chose him to continue the art for the series pretty early on. But it's because Charlie's great with a deadline, so he could get stuff done fast. And that's cool. And the darkness of his style was better suited for The Walking Dead. So. All right, let's kick off the list, shall we? Oh, wait, Nimesh, thank you so much. I was thinking about Nimesh today, actually. So thank you. We appreciate that so, so much. That goes to everybody out there. The super chats, not just for this show, but across the entire channel, means so much to us. It doesn't go unnoticed. So thank you guys for doing that on all the shows. All right, next up, first slide. So we have The Walking Dead. This is issue number 1, Tony Moore, the regular. This came out October 8th of 2003. I think we're all pretty familiar with that one. And then on the right, of course, we have Something Is Killing the Children, issue 1 from Boom Studios that came out in 2019, written by James Tynion. This is a tough choice. If you had to pick one, what would you pick, Lucy?
I will go, okay. I mean, Walking Dead is Walking Dead, right? Like, obviously the show and everything, but and I have not read Walking Dead. I was.
But you've seen the show, right?
Yes, but I was not into it. It was not for me. But Something's Killing the Children till I think issue when they took a break. What was it, 19, 20 or something like that? I read it and I just love the story since it came. Even before it came out, I remember buying a bunch of copies because first of all, I love the books, the covers. Not only that, I just already knew the story was, I remember reading it from the previous books and it sounded just so intriguing, and I was like, I need to have this, right? So Taylor. So I already knew that I wanted this book. So
that's your vote easily?
Yes.
Hands down. All right. So what about you, Sarah? Left or right?
I love Something Is Killing the Children. It's a great story. It's awesome art. But I'm going to have to go with The Walking Dead. I think with all the different shows that are coming out, I think we'll probably see an uptick on this book.
Something Is Killing the Children is going to be a show now too. So I'm curious what they'll do with that.
Is that though? I mean, they said that a long time ago. Have you guys heard anything?
I haven't heard anything since, but that's kind of how comics work, right? It just kind of sits in the...
Yeah.
All right, well, let's see here. Between the two of them, we're looking at, Walking Dead, $944 for a 9 to a 9.4, whereas the Something Is Killing the Children is only going for $256. And look at that huge difference on the Most Common Slab 9.8, almost $3,000 for The Walking Dead, whereas Something Is Killing the Children's right around $500. So very clear winner here with Walking Dead taking the massive lead. Sorry, Lucy.
Also, but look, Walking Dead, how long ago has been out? And how long has, some Scale Children without a show?
So there's potential, maybe you're thinking, for the other one to keep growing. If the
Yes,
show does really
definitely.
well, we can maybe revisit this.
Yeah, because
I
I mean,
hope
Walking
so.
Dead, I mean, obviously, a lot of people fell out of the show. Like, I know Sarah said there's like other ones coming out, but like, I mean, since people fell out of that one, like, how excited are they really are for the new one? Something Skillet the Children. We have seen it at more than $1,000 for a 9.8.
Oh
You
God, yeah,
know,
during like the peak. I don't
without
know if we'll see those
yes,
prices again
with
though.
without a show. But once if they really do a show, they announce a show, that's I feel that still has potential to go back up.
Mhm.
And
Well,
if
let's
the show's
bookmark
actually
this.
really good,
Let's
then
revisit it when it comes out. When the show comes out, we'll come back and we'll go, okay, here's where it was prior to the show. And then we'll give you a good insight on how it actually affects it, All
Mhm.
right, moving on. So this one's an interesting slide. This is kind of a debate slide. On the left, we have John Byrne's Next Time, issue number 21 from Dark Horse. This came out in 1993. And on the right, we have, of course, Stray Dogs number 1, the exclusive preview that came out in 2021. Now, the debate here, and we had this a little bit backstage
Last week.
after last week's show, are these considered horror books, or are they more crime / suspense / fantasy? In particular, Lucy, you thought Stray Dogs would fall more under crime.
Yeah. Yes.
What
Yes.
do you think, Sarah?
Yeah, I would think it's more of a true crime. I don't know about because that's the first appearance of Hellboy.
Mhm.
I don't know if I even call that horror, maybe more
That one
fantasy.
I have never read this issue. I haven't. But Hellboy, he's kind of, I mean, even though like he's not really a monster, but he is not a human. So he falls more in the category of not natural, like how do you call it? Like
Supernatural?
supernatural. Then compared to Stray Dogs, he's a human. Well, then on this one they don't show him, but it is a human, right? Just killing people. So I think that might be, even though these two are different. Holy
So
moly.
I actually talked to Trish about this when we were backstage last week. We called her up and we're like, okay, so would you consider Stray Dogs horror? And she's like, yeah, she's like, it was categorized as horror. Even though it is a suspense thriller, it still technically fell under the horror category. But I completely see what Lucy's saying, that it doesn't have that supernatural element that kind of categorizes most of our standard horror.
Yeah, like,
but,
sorry, I'm going to
no, you're fine. Go ahead.
But like, okay, Friday the 13th, the Nightmare on Elm Street, like all those are not supernaturals, because this guy, Friday the 13th, Jason, like he comes back alive and he's basically dead. Change. What else? All those, but then there also you have Saw, like it's actually, I guess, a person, like, what is the other one?
I've never seen any of those.
Sadly, I have. I don't like those movies. I don't like Saw. When it comes to those kind, like there's like that two category, like I feel, I don't know. What do you guys think?
There's a term for it when there's like when it's gory horror films. I don't remember what it's called, but there is a term for it. But okay.
Was it like, I want to call it like scare porn, but it's not. That's not the name of it.
Okay, we need to make it that. That's a fantastic term. Let's start going with that. Scare porn. Slasher movies. That would be, maybe that's part of it. All right. So if you guys had to pick left or right, what would you go with, Lucy?
Well, since I have read Stray Dogs, I will go with Stray Dogs, as the story is really good. And obviously, art is fantastic. I have never read Next Man. Only, I just know Hellboy, and I have watched the movie, loved it, but I'm going to go with Stray Dogs. Also because we love Trish.
Yeah, we're totally biased on this channel. We're super, super biased. Sarah, what about you?
Oh, this is not fair. I love Trish, and I love Stray Dogs. And
If you pick left, you don't.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Putting you on the spot now.
I know. Shoot me, but I'm gonna go with the left. I'm just gonna go with the first appearance of Hellboy.
All right, let's see who's right. So we are looking at $600 for a near mint of the exclusive preview for Stray Dogs.
I win.
Whew.
Yes.
Whereas a very fine Next Men first appearance of Hellboy only goes for 90. If you look at the 9.8s, they're 420 versus 701. Now, the exclusive preview, I'm trying to remember what the print count was on that because this isn't just like the standard issue one.
Right.
I think it was like a one per store.
And not every store. It's not every
have to check into it.
right? I gotta ask.
No, I don't think so. So I wish Trish was in the chat right now. So I think that's definitely the more rare of the two. But yeah, both of these are killer books. If you have either of them, get those bad boys slabbed immediately. And the 9.8 of the exclusive preview for Stray Dogs does have an asterisk, meaning the information is kind of old, or there hasn't been one that came to the market anytime or recently. Mm-hmm. All right, next up. So Infidel on the left.
Oh my God, who picked this?
Oh, so this is actually the first horror series of comics that Jen bought Brit was Infidel. And so now after she read Infidel, she wants to read Autumnal.
I want to read that too. I have the copy.
I have all the number ones in the second print on Autumnal, which I posted not so long ago. Check
it if
you haven't. And Infidel, oh my God.
Infidel came out in 2018. This is the Aaron Campbell and Jose Villarrubia cover A, and then the Autumnal is number 1, but this is the second print, and this came out in 2020. I love that you're so excited about these, Lucy.
Oh my God, yes, because Infidel it's the first comic book that I had put down right away because I got really scared because something happens in there. If you haven't read it, I don't want to. It's truly scary and creepy because there's something happens there that it happened in real life to one of my aunts, and I was there when it happened. So, it's definitely creepy. I loved it, and I love the covers for this one. Just by this cover, I just love it so much. Like the red and just like that, like the different contrast of the red and that hem is just freaking creepy.
Yeah, it's hauntingly. It's beautiful. It's definitely. And then what do we know about? So Autumnal, she's going back to her hometown, and
so yeah, this one is just like she's going back home with her kid, I think, after being gone for so long, and it's just like some crazy stuff happening too, like, and people acting kind of weird in her hometown. Again, oh my God, the both of them are just so good, and pick them up if you can. I'm sure they're not pricey.
We'll find out about the pricing, but I feel like you liked Infidel better out of these two if you only had to pick up one.
Yes, Infidel for sure.
Sarah?
First of all, I want to tell you guys, Lucy is phenomenal. She's a phenomenal person, but she has the best taste in indie horror. She's fantastic. So if you guys want to read some good indie horror books, definitely, DM Lucy on that. I wanted to read Autumnal, so I can't wait to read that now to see that Lucy's excited. I'm going to go with Infidel on the right-hand side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the chat kind of went nuts as soon as we showed that. So I'm curious to see if this isn't affordable anymore. So you guys both went right. $9. Okay, so you can still get this and not break the bank. $9 for a near mint with a 9.6 going for $20. So I'm guessing a 9.8, if there is one out there, would be around the $40, $50 range. And on the Autumnal.
Holy crap! $1 for a 9.8? That is insane.
That must have been like some sort of fluke thing, right? When there's like a bidding and nobody bid and they started at $1. That's crazy. Or it's a typo. I'll message Matt and be like, tell me how somebody got a slab for $1.
Right. Yeah. And where is that? And who did that?
Yes.
Oh, I'm curious. If you guys are saying Infidel is that good, that sounds like something that could have potential down the road to become a series.
Oh, it will be. Yeah, it will be. Yes, a scary one if they do it right.
All right. So this one, Lucy, was kind of for you. This slide was developed kind of to put you on the spot to make you have to really think of which one you want more. So on the left, we have 30 Days of Night by Steve Niles, issue number 1. And on the right, we have Lock and Key, issue number 1 from 2008.
Ooh.
IDW, both of them are IDW. So this is a tricky one. Like I would even, but okay, Lucy, what do you think?
Oh my gosh. This is so,
you gotta pick
so
one.
hard.
That's the rules.
And also because I feel this I'm just gonna go like say by the stories. They are a little bit different. Kind of, yeah, it's just 30 Days of Night has a special, I don't know, it's a special place in my heart. Not Steve Niles, and I only like the it's such a great book. The movie,
it's terrifying. That's not how I pictured
I
vampires
cried.
until I ever saw that movie. It ruined it for me.
I cried at the end of that movie, okay? Because I watched it in theaters. I'm gonna go with 30 Days of Night.
All right.
Because I just like, you know how, because it's like where it's at, the snow and everything, it's just like this little splashes of blood. It's just so good. Oh my god, but Lock and Key is just so good. Joe Hill, I love Joe Hill, and Gabriel Rodriguez too. It's just so hard, but I'm gonna go just 30 Days of Night.
Sarah?
I'm gonna go with The Son of Horror and go with Lock and Key on the right. Because it's a good story too.
Yeah,
Son of Horror meaning what? Do you want to clarify if people don't know who Joe Hill is?
Joe Hill would be the son of Stephen King.
My girl. All right, well, let's take a look here. Okay, massively, Niles takes the win on this. A near mint going for $225, whereas Lock and Key, a near mint, you can snag for about $86. A 9.8, Lucy, of 30 Days a Night going for $560, whereas Lock and Key, you can get it for under $100. So yeah, pretty clear winner here.
And it's crazy because it went down a lot. Because I remember before, like, they announced the show was good coming out, it was up there too. That's
yeah,
crazy.
I mean, I think it definitely kind of goes like this. And around this time of year, I think it sells better too. Kind of like how, I forgot what's the Remember the 5th of November.
Oh, yes, I know which one.
Oh my God, I'm blinking. What is
I
that
know,
called?
me too.
Mask.
Yes.
Sarah,
say
remember the 5th of November, huh?
Wait, say that again.
Remember the 5th of November. Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't remember the name of the movie. Oh my God. Cat, help us. Nimesh, help us. Golden State.
It's a movie?
Yes, it came out in November.
V for Vendetta. Thank God. V for Vendetta. Oh my gosh, I was about to seriously boot myself off the show if I couldn't remember that.
Whew, I know. Okay. Oh my God, I love that movie too.
But that show always, or that book always spikes right around that time of month, and this is kind of the same thing. Thank you, James and Chad. They were probably like screaming into their phones.
Is our chat slow? What happened? Like usually, like it goes. I don't know if it's my internet or what.
No, we have a massive lag tonight, like between the chat and us. What's up, Awesome Sauce?
Hey.
All right, next up. So this one is a book. Wait, what is this?
It was Sarah's pick.
Is Sarah's? Oh yeah, Sarah, you go ahead and take it.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is a book that you guys may have seen before. We've talked about this on our Ryan Brown episode, so you better check that out. This is Creepy number 24 from Dark Horse. This came out in June of 2016. This is done by the most talented Ryan Brown. And yeah, so I love this. I love this cover. And when we were talking about modern horror, this was like the one that just popped in my head besides the other one. So I had to bring it back.
You don't think Ryan Brown when you think this book, or it's not what I think of anyways.
Right?
You wouldn't go, oh, this is a Ryan Brown cover, because I think he has a very distinctive look, especially with the eyes. And guys, just so you know, we covered Ryan Brown 5 months ago, so I'm going to put a link in the description if you want to go back and check that out and look at.
Yeah. But this is such again, what I guess I forgot that Sarah sent us, or we have talked about this before, but when Sarah sent us like to talk about it, I mean, for her pick, was it at night? I can't remember, but I was like, I remember who asked me last week that if a cover will give me nightmares. And this is one. It's freaking creepy as heck. It's just
What's the little detail we found last time? Do you guys remember? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's right.
it's
Yeah,
in the
there is
corner.
Ryan E. Brown too. Do you remember the one that in the doorway?
Yeah, the guy. I can see it now. I don't
Oh
know
my
why
god,
couldn't
I
see
keep
it then,
forgetting.
but
I didn't see
yeah.
it before again. Holy
Yep.
crap. Yes.
Yeah.
Creepy as hell.
Creepy ass guy in the doorway. All right, so good pick,
Chill.
Sarah. Really good pick.
Yeah.
So let's see here. The pricing.
The same.
It's the same.
The same as him. That's crazy.
Hmm.
Wow.
So in 5 months, we've literally had zero movement on there.
It's weird because at the time it said it was 3% up and now it's 10% down. Huh.
Well, maybe one hasn't shown up on the market though. It just depends if people are selling these or not.
People might not know about this. I think I'm just gonna
True.
post and say that I want it. I'm just kidding.
There you go. Put it
No.
out in the universe.
Put that energy out.
No,
Yes,
I don't want.
love it.
I don't want that book in my house. No, I'm good.
Right.
I know that would freak me out too. Okay, next up. So,
Mhm.
guys, if you are just joining us, welcome into Comic Book Women. We are talking about modern horror. So, we already did silver last week, and the week prior to that was gold. So, if you missed those, go back and watch those shows. But next slide we have is Ice Cream Man number 1. This is Fraser Irving cover B. Everybody knows Ice Cream Man was an anthology series, really, really well done. And on the left side, we have Bitterroot number 1. This is cover A by Green.
Mm-hmm.
Bitterroot. My favorite Sozo cover was on Bitterroot. If you guys are a Sozo fan, go hunt that one down.
I have both of these both of these books. Wait, do I still have Bitterroot? I think Mel bought it from me.
Mel loves Bitterroot, so I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember if I still have it, but Ice Cream Man, I still have Ice Cream Man. Not this cover. I think I have cover A. Yeah, I think I still have cover A. I can remember. But I never got a chance to really read Bitterroot. I remember I just bought them but didn't read it. Ice Cream Man, I was reading them. And man, it's creepy. And I loved it.
Some of the stories were like super dark. A couple of them I was like, holy hell, like this isn't. Yeah. All right, Lucy, left or right, if you had to pick?
I'm gonna go with right.
So you're going Ice Cream Man?
Yeah.
All right, Sarah, what about you?
I'm gonna go with Bitterroot. I think the Ice Cream Man train has kind of left the station.
It kind of has died down a little bit, that's for sure. The hype isn't as there as it used to be, but let's see who's right. So we're looking at $50 for Bitterroot. We're $75 for Ice Cream Man.
Oh.
So Ice Cream Man takes the win on this one. A 9.8 going for $200 for that Ice Cream Man, and Bitterroot at $139 with an asterisk though, meaning that the information might be a little bit old or that there just haven't been any more on the market.
And it's crazy that Ice Cream Man has that 0.37% down and it's still that for that much. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, so next up, I'm so excited. This took me a while to come up with because I haven't read a lot of horror. It's not my genre. You guys all know that. It's not normally what I go for, but I had to really think back. Chad Cave, if you're still in the chat, I was thinking Bone Parish originally. I was like, I should put up Bone Parish.
Oh my God, yes, I almost picked that one too because I had loved
fantastic read. But anyway, and then I thought about Gideon Falls, and Anthony's like, Laura, you should do that one because first off, this is written by Jeff Lemire, which is one of my favorites. He wrote the Maze book, which nobody else cared about but me, apparently. I'm the only one who bought that book. And it was illustrated by Andrea Sorrentino, which was the artist we talked about at the very beginning. Really interesting premise. You have this kid, Norton, at the beginning that's kind of sifting through trash, and he's finding these little specks of wood and collecting them and categorizing them on his wall. But the interior art by Sorrentino is phenomenal. Again, he's the same artist, guys, that did Old Man Logan. He also worked at Secret Wars too, now that I'm thinking about it. So Gideon Falls was my pick. Really, really good read. Very creepy, suspense-filled read. You want to keep going after every single issue. It's a page turner. There's also a priest in it that goes to this town of Gideon Falls because the previous priest died, but they don't know why. And at the end of issue 1, this isn't a spoiler, is it?
No,
Well,
it's been out for a long
Why, what's
time.
gonna
well, at the end of issue 1, there was this lady, Jean, that works at the church, and she came out, and you see her, and she's like been impaled through the chest, and super gory, but it's also suspenseful. So I was able to finish the whole thing without being too freaked out. So that is my pick. What about you, Sarah?
like which one to pick?
No, isn't yours on the right?
Nope.
Slide 7, your pick versus Sarah. Oh, wait, maybe this isn't you yet. Okay, well, maybe it's just this one. This is the Low Low Woods issue number 1 from 2019. And yet again, we have Joe Hill. So are you going to go with Joe Hill again, Sarah?
So I haven't read Gideon. I haven't read either one of them. I've collected, like Marcus said, I've collected some of the covers because of Jenny Frison. But I've heard Gideon Falls is a fantastic story. So I think I'm going to go with Gideon Falls.
Yay. Lucy?
I have both. I have not read neither.
You really need to read Gideon Falls. Like if you are a horror fan, like that's right up your alley. Yeah.
Yeah, but see, you said you like Jeff Lemire. I don't really enjoy his writing. I know a lot of people.
Did you like Sweet Tooth?
I didn't like the book.
I like Sweet Tooth.
I liked the show, but it was way different than it was a lot different than the comic book. And I couldn't get and I read a lot of Sweet Tooth, and I just couldn't get it.
You don't like Jeff Lemire's writing? I love his stuff.
But remember that book that I told you it was only 3 issues?
The Fish Flies?
And I was no. It's a magazine size issues. I can't even remember the name of it. But I was just like, what am I reading? Very confusing.
So you're voting Joe Hill, I take it?
So yes.
Joe Hill. Okay. All right, let's see here. So we're looking at $36 if you want an issue 1 of Gideon Falls, and $3 for the Low Low Woods. I'm kind of with Sarah on this. If you were to collect a Low Low Woods, I would go for the prison covers personally. The 9.8s are comparable. However, the one on the right has been a while since one sold. So I would say overall, Gideon Falls takes it. I'm not a huge spec person, but I will say this. Jeff Lemire has been optioned already with Sweet Tooth, and it is coming back for season 2. And Gideon Falls is a book that he wanted to write almost his entire career. He has this written, all the issues are already written, but it's like this complex universe that he plans on building. So take that for what you want, but there seems to be like a master plan behind how he's developing the arcs behind Gideon Falls. I think there's 27 issues so far, but it's this massive project that he's had in his head for years.
Ooh, potential, right?
Potential. Oh, this is you versus me. That's what she meant.
Yeah.
All right. So on the left-hand side, we have I think a relatively unknown book by Scott Snyder and Scott Tuft. This is Severed issue 1, which is, I think it's all one. It's just one book, graphic novel from 2011. I have not read this one. I'm going to put that out there right now. I have not read it, but I was doing some research because I met Scott Snyder in New York. And so I've been kind of digging around. I loved Court of Owls, and I wanted to see what other stuff he had out there that I hadn't read. And this was one that I came across. It got fantastic reviews. Supposedly the art's really well done by Attila Futaki. So I picked it without really knowing a whole lot what it's about. I know it takes place in 1916, and it's about a boy who finds out that he's adopted, and he goes and hunt for his dad and meets like a cannibal, a guy that eats children on the road.
There's 7 issues on this.
Oh, are there?
Yes.
Maybe I was looking at the trade paperback. I probably was. But he's on the road, and he finds a guy that likes to eat children. So I thought that sounded intriguing, and Scott Snyder stuff. I like the way he writes. So that was my pick.
I won this. The first well, that's cover A. They have a cover B that it's kind of like a black and whitish
with the face in the opening.
No, that's the trade paperback.
Okay, that's the one I was looking at. Then
there's a hardcover and there's a trade paperback. And they have a second print also, a Jetpack exclusive edition. Don't know what that is. but oh my, each cover, like for those 7 issues, are really good. The one with the face that you were saying for the trade paperback,
Mhm.
it's issue 5. Um, but damn, that looks really good. I'm gonna add it to my
It was
wish list right
intriguing, and
now.
again, it was something that I hadn't really stumbled across, but then again, I was kind of stalking Scott Snyder, and that's how I fell onto this, and I was like, "Okay, maybe this is something that I could actually look into and read." It sounds really well done, like, the man at the beginning is a grandfather, and then he kinda does a flashback, and at the end, he ends as a grandfather, but the story's in the middle, and I like it when it's done that way, when the format's kind of a
And it's
flashback.
1916. That's
Right.
crazy.
Yeah.
So you the house, like, because at first I was like, that looks like one of those like horror movies house.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre looking house.
Yeah. Oh, there it is.
See,
And it
James, I
says
haven't read it, but I'm intrigued, and I don't think a lot of people
yeah.
think
I,
Scott
I
Snyder and
only
Severed.
I only looked it up because I wanted to add it to my list, to my wish
Right?
Ah,
list.
I was gonna say you
So
got me. You got
that's
me.
why. Yeah, that's why I looked it up, because I'm like, that looks interesting. I want it.
yeah, I think this is something you would enjoy. I haven't read it though, so I can't 100% say. The only one I can really vouch for is Gideon Falls, but it's a Jeff Lemire book, so
Mhm.
yeah.
Mm.
Sarah, you're on the right.
I am. So this is Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. This is number 1. This is a variant done by Robert Hack. You can see his little signature. This is a Rosemary's Baby homage. And I've read this. The story is not like the TV show. There is some kind of stuff that was picked up from the comic books and put into the TV show, but it's a totally different storyline in the comics, and I love it. There are 9 issues so far. This series is not done yet, because Robert's just stringing us along. But I love this cover. That's Sabrina's aunts, Hilda and Zelda, and
Mm.
what I love is that that the reason why the ants live in a funeral parlor is because the witches are they're cannibals. They eat
Mm.
flesh. They eat human flesh. So that's why they live in
So this is
a
cannibal versus
funeral parlor.
cannibal, technically.
That is funny.
Right? Right? So this book came out in December of 2014. And this is Archie Comics. So yes, I love this story. I plead Robert Hack, if you could make these stories a little bit quicker, I would be, indebted for you, but he kind of trots along. So yeah, there's only 9 issues so far.
All right, well, let's take a look here. We are talking $1 for Severed. Dollar
Wow.
bin fodder over there. So $1 for Severed with a 9.4 selling for $10 slabbed.
Wow.
On the right, we're looking at $8 for a very fine. So the very fines are similar, but the most common is $8. So definitely Chilling Adventures of Sabrina takes the win on this one. Okay, next up. Ooh,
That's one of my picks. But Bruce, I do have Year Zero. I did read it, and that's Year Zero issue 1. I had cover A and cover B, and only cover A. It's so random because you guys know that I do not like to grade my comics. But I did grade it, that one. But I really, really enjoy Year Zero, Hotel. Those I didn't get to buy because they sold out and they were going for a lot at the time. That was during the pandemic, so I didn't get to read those. But I do. I did want to have those, so I might look to see if they went down on price. So the one on the right has my pick, Steve Niles, the October faction. If you guys have been here with us since the beginning, you guys know that this was one of my picks a couple years back. Because they also did a show. I'll get into that in a minute because I'm pretty pissed. I'm still pissed about that. But October faction, it's of the retired monster hunters. They have kind of retired, but they kind of have to get back into the business of sorry monster hunting. But let me see. What I I love the writer, but I also love the artist in this one, in which I should have picked it. I guess if I had two picks, I would have picked him too, Damien Warm. If you guys are not following this guy, is such a fantastic artist for horror, especially for like scary stuff. Like he is the man, and I'm surprised. Laura, look him up, uh, to do some of your, if you guys do horror comics, look him up because I completely forgot about him till I picked this. He's so good at with his horror comics. And Steve Niles and Damian Warren, they work together a lot. But this one, there is a few issues of volumes of October Faction, and I just love that it's this family of monster hunters. And there is a show on Netflix that they did only one season. And when we have Steve with us, I was telling him, like, I was just so mad that it was canceled because they kind of show like it was not in the book. It was like if it was before the book. And then if they would have continued, it would have been such a good show for it. But this is my pick, and this is issue 1. And they also they reprinted for Netflix on 2020. So
you're hurting your voice, Lucy.
I know.
You're hurting your voice. You're not going to have any voice tomorrow. All right. So the October Faction is Lucy's pick. On the left-hand side, we have Nailbiter #1. This came out in 2004. And I agree with Chad that it makes my cuticles hurt just looking at, like, blech. That's a gnarly looking cover. Never read that one either. And James, we covered The House. Did you not watch our Drew Zucker episode? We talked about The House in that. But yeah, you wouldn't think that Drew Zucker would do a World War II horror graphic novel, but you can tell it's him because he uses the empty space, the black, so well in that book. It's very reminiscent of what he does with Kanto. That's the only way I'd be able to tell they were similar.
And don't they have a new comic book coming out? It's a horror one?
Well, I know that they're doing Kanto as a hard copy.
No, they're doing another, and it's a horror book too.
Oh, nice.
Which we should have him over. We should have them over again to talk. I know they're gonna go on somebody's show. I can't remember, to talk about it.
Probably Brian's. I'll talk to him.
I'm like, we should have him. We should have them over because there's a new book that's coming out. I think it's on Kickstarter right now. But it looks good. Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, and Bad Idea has some horror coming out. Chad, Proctor Valley Road. We did not cover it, but that is a very good read, and it's based on a true story, right? Proctor Valley Road.
Oh,
yeah, it's out in California, isn't it?
Too. I have those books too. Yeah,
we talked about them a while back. All right, so pricing, we are looking at $12 raw for a nail biter, and if you are looking at October Faction, you can get it for $6. A 9.8 going for $40 for nail biter, and a 9.8 going for $50 for the October Faction with an asterisk. Okay. So, are they on right now?
Okay, they're with Andy. Yes, I knew. I saw it that somewhere, but I have horrible memory. And I remember. Right. I'm gonna check to see.
All right, let's keep on moving. So next up, this is Lucy versus Alan Moore. So Alan Moore's Neonomicon. I think I'm saying that right. Mm-hmm. Which supposedly, now you were saying earlier, Lucy, that there was a book in here that Infidel that was so scary you had to put it down. From what I've read about Neonomicon, same deal. It's so scary that people have had to put it down because it's very, very intense horror. I have not read this, but this is issue #1, the wraparound cover. It's Alan Moore, though. Like, how do you go up against Alan Moore? Oh, with Outcast. Lucy, this is your pick?
Yeah. I was just trying to see if I went on to Andy's YouTube, but I don't see them. I see another guy in Brian and Andy.
Maybe it was earlier.
Maybe. Sorry. But yeah, Outcast, again, another one that I was so mad. I love this book. It's the same, what's his name? Kirkman, writer of Walking Dead. Robert Kirkman. If you haven't read this one yet, I love this book. And there was a show also on Cinemax with this, and I think there was like 3 seasons. I got my mom hooked on this one because it was really good. The show was really good. it was well made. It just sucks that it was on Cinemax that nobody was watching. Um and but this one, it's about this guy, the guy on the cover. He is let me see, I'm gonna read it so that I can give you guys better synopsis on this. I don't want to mess it up because I love it so much. Kyle Barnes has been plagued by demonic possessions all his life, and now he needs an answer. Unfortunately, what he uncovers along the way could bring about but the end of his life on earth as we know it. So this guy, he's able to see demons and stuff like that. He doesn't realize that he has so much power that he can like
Constantine.
it's kind of like that. And there's a movie about that his blood has some kind of power. So you see like his hand is bloody, so his hand can help oh my god, I don't know if I'm gonna spoil it, but his hand his blood is so powerful, kind of like holy water basically. And a lot of people in his town, they have looked at him like the weird kid, the weird guy, and they said that he kind of like killed his mom. But his mom, like, they don't realize that his mom was
Well, don't
possessed.
don't tell us too much, because I think I actually might watch this if it's a show.
Right. Yeah.
It is. It's
Yeah,
only
okay, don't
like
tell me
2
anything else, because
seasons.
I'm actually kind
It's
of
just it
yeah.
just it's not as the story is so good. It's a little scary, but just the story is just so
As long
good.
as it's not gory,
Um,
that's where I really struggle with like slasher films and
mm,
stuff.
I know. Yeah. Mm. And what I like that one of the you guys know watch The Office, Roy. You know Roy. He's in this too.
Oh.
Um, but I just love that. I love this show, and I love the book too. I was sad when it got canceled, and I didn't know, like, when it came out, I didn't know it was a book. It was at around the same time that I started working at a comic book shop, and when I saw the comic, I was like, "Oh my god, it's a comic book!" But
Well,
read it.
sounds like a solid pick. Has anybody in the chat? I'm curious. Has anybody read Neonomicon?
Nah.
I
Neonomicon.
want to. That's Cthulhu. The squid guy that's sitting in the the squid guy.
Oh, I didn't even notice him. I was looking at the whales. I didn't even notice the background. I'm like, what is she talking about? You're
What?
right. And it's Alan
The
Moore,
what?
right?
Yeah,
What did you say?
that's so
Sorry.
see, Cthulhu. So what is the author? Oh, I can't think of the guy's name. He's kind of known about like horror, supernatural, but Cthulhu is kind of this like really destructive kind of supernatural kind of god, I think. But I want to read this. I want to read both of it and watch the TV show.
Yes.
All you have to say is it's Alan Moore. It's sold.
Right.
We already talked about a lot of these books. This is our modern era. If you want to check out our past shows.
Yeah, last week was silver. The week before that was gold. And you're right. Horror definitely does evolve through the ages with the way it's told, with what the authors are allowed to write, what they focus more on. I think a lot of the modern comics, it's more about the story than the actual covers themselves. But yeah.
Thank you. That it's Lovecraft, and that's what it's called, torture porn. That's what the Saw movies. That's what torture
porn.
Okay. Torture horror. Love it.
Yes, Joe.
Well, take a look at this. So $2 if you are interested in getting an Alan Moore horror book, which I think is a steal. If I come across this, I will snag it up in a heartbeat. Outcast is going for $10 raw. The 9.8 going for $2. I don't know what that is. That's just crazy.
Well, see, it's crazy because at the time, Outcast, like, it was going for like $100 when it kind of came out. They went to 5th printing. There's a 5th printing on this. And also like Image First, I guess you want to say that. They have the San Diego exclusive photo variant. They have so many. Oh my, there's like, I'm like looking at it and it's like number ones. Oh, it goes all the way to L because there's so many reprints on this one. Yeah, but so be careful with when you buy it. Because there's like there's a bunch of reprints on this. But I want the San Diego photo variant. It came out 2015.
Lucy's shopping now. She's getting distracted.
Right?
All right, so next
Talk
up. So
amongst
this is
yourselves.
just this slide's kind of just a battle of the greats. These are just ones that everybody knows about. We have Witches on the left-hand side. Issue number 1 came out from Image in 2014. And on the right-hand side, we have Harrow County, issue number 1 from Dark Horse that came out in 2015. Sarah, are you familiar with either of these?
Like the Witches, my husband read, said it's amazing, and it's wasn't it also picked up too as a
long time ago
series?
Yeah, another Snyder book.
Like long time ago.
Yeah.
Harrow County, that too, I've kind of like heard amongst like other people. So again, my list of reading is getting longer and longer and longer. The show.
That's what we're here for.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cullen Bunn, it's another one of my favorite horror writers. And oh my gosh, Snyder too, he's good at like the horror, but Cullen Bunn and Steve Niles, those two, they kick ass when it comes to horror books, modern horror books.
Cullen Bunn there's something else of his that I wanted to read. I'm trying to remember what it was.
No, there's so many.
I know there's so many. Anyway, we're taking way too much time. Sorry, guys. We're going to keep moving. We're talking Near Mint for the Witches for $9. These are comparable. $9 each for Near Mint raw copies. The slabs kind of vary, but the $87 for the Harrow County does have an asterisk, so that could have been a while back. But these two are pretty well matched in regards to which ones you would want to pick up if you're a flipper.
I want both.
I want both too. Like at this point, I'm actually kind of getting into this whole horror thing. I think I might be going over to the dark side here.
Yay.
Maybe.
Dark side.
Right?
All right. Last slide of the night. These two books came out recently, but we want to talk about which one we think has more potential. So on the left, we have Creepshow Volume 2, Issue 1 by Becky Cloonan. This just came out on the 13th of September. And on the right, we have Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, Issue 1, Patrick Norvath, cover A, that came out in October. I think there was a
It just came out this Wednesday, the Beneath the Trees.
Well, there was also a con exclusive in New York for that. A foil, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm 99% sure there was. So which one do you think? The thing about, so if we had to pick between the two of them, I mean, I would go with the unknown title, right? Beneath the Trees.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I heard Chris read it. He was telling me it was really good. I've seen a few people post about this, and it's just this cover. It's so cutesy, but at the same time, if you pay attention, it's fucking creepy. This little bear with a shovel and a bag that is obviously blood dripping from there.
You guys keep talking. I'm checking something because I'm almost positive that IDW did a foil for this one and they did have it on their site.
I want it. I want this cover.
Yeah, I want to read this. Creepshow is a classic. That, I'm wondering if this is a foil. That would be cool if it was a foil. But I hate to say Creepshow again. I'm sure people who love the show, love the stories, will collect it. But this Beneath the Trees, I'm gonna go with the underdog. I'm gonna go with Beneath the Trees.
I won this. I didn't pick it up, but I won this.
Okay, there is a convention foil. Okay,
going for the left. But
if you go onto the IDW's website right now and just type in Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, but put convention exclusive foil, it is a pre-order for $20. The pre-order will ship on November 1st, is what it's saying.
At all.
It's really not. It's a cool cover too.
Right.
Sorry, I'm shopping now too, Lucy. I'm gonna buy that. Even though the last time I got the Rocketeer from IDW and they shipped like shit. It came all dinged up and it was just like I was not thrilled, but I don't care.
You will think these people, like, they're comic book people. Like, you will think they know better to fucking ship things, but
it was all beat up. Everybody was saying that though, that they came damaged. Like I don't think anybody had like a non-damaged one. Sorry, I'm buying this right now.
Does anybody know how to ship these things?
Yeah, like come on. Like I actually wrote, they were nice about it. I wrote them, I'm like, hey, this came like pretty dinged up, and they were like, well, we'll send you another one, which they did, which also showed up dinged up. I was like, Like, I'm over it. All right. Well, the chat is going all left. And if you look at this, they're pretty comparable right now. $5. So these are evenly matched, and only time will tell if Beneath the Trees Where
Yes.
Nobody Sees turns into something. There it is. Hold
Look,
on,
you guys, if you
Oh,
like,
I
it looks like a
love
story, like, you know,
Yes.
those
storybook,
Beauty and
fairy
the
tale.
Yeah, yes. But you cannot see it in my phone, but there's like skulls all over around him, around the little bear. So,
Yeah.
That's cool.
It looks legit.
and his hands are like full of blood. That's freaking cool.
It's saying there's only 35 available. I don't see a print run on this. I don't like buying books without a print run typically.
Oh, don't be a snob. Just kidding.
I don't know. What if it's
Okay,
like
I understand.
8,000 print run? Or they're just print to order and I never know how many there are.
I'm just ordering it because
No.
I like the book. I don't want to buy fucking
I
digital.
did that today, Laura. Don't
It's sold out for cover A. I can't buy cover A. It's sold
I was
out.
just gonna say, so this one's not on there? You can't get this one?
Thank you, Erin.
Oh, thanks, Erin.
No, cover A sold out. Damn it. I want it. It's digital for $3.99. But get the fucking
Yeah,
Mhm.
I hear you.
Yes,
checking
fairy
eBay
tale.
on this one.
Sorry. Thank you, Chad, for translating for me. Fairy tale.
They're pre-selling a 9.8 on
I
eBay.
love that you guys already know me and you guys understand what I'm trying to say.
Yes, we follow.
It's the okay synopsis. Don't murder the local.
Oh my gosh, that same foil exclusive is on eBay for $50.
Really? You can
Yeah.
get it like, oh man, eBay. This is a small town serial killer, upstanding citizen, and adorable brown bear, Samantha Strong cardinal rule. After all, there's a sea of perfectly ripped potential victims in the big city, just beyond the forest. And when you worked as hard as Sam to build a cozy life and thriving business in the community, surrounded by friendly fellow animal folk, warm decor, and the aroma of cedar trees and freshly baked apple pie, the last thing you want is disturb the peace. So you can imagine her indignation when one Woodbrook owns meets a grisly, mysterious demise, and you wouldn't blame her for doing anything to take anything it takes to hunt down her rival before the town self-destruct. And Sheriff Patterson starts literally barking up the wrong tree. That's so cute.
Interesting.
It's live, laugh, shed blood. Dexter meets Richard Scary Busy Town in Writer. Okay.
Oh, okay. That's really Richard. Isn't Richard Scary like a children's book?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. You're seeing like a merging of those. Interesting. All right. Well, that was it for us tonight. Now, guys, we know that we didn't cover all the modern horror. We are going to do this every October. So next October, we'll be back covering gold, silver, modern. We will not be here next Tuesday because it's Halloween. The girls and I are going to be out trick-or-treating and doing all kinds of Halloween stuff. So make sure you have a good night or a safe night that night. In the meantime, tomorrow we have Team Nerd Herd. We have Long Story Short coming up on Thursday. And then Friday, Lucy has, what do you have going on Friday?
Oh my gosh. Friday, it's my last show of the season with what is it called? Witching Hour. I forgot.
I wasn't sure what this was saying for you. I'm like, it's your show. You just
what is it called? Witching Hour. Yeah. So this is basically my fourth year, I guess, kind of doing it. Of doing my show, this time called Witching Hour. And we don't know yet. We'll see. Rudy's still here. He knows who it is. But we have this guy named Jonathan who is, I guess, got popular on the social media community. What is he, influencer? No, right? Well, he just has a lot of following. Because he is not like he just talks about like horror, like scary videos that people send him, but he is so funny the way he just talks about them and saying that you need Vicks and Fabuloso to protect you. It's hilarious. So hopefully he'll be able to join us and just hang out with us and our spooky season with.
Yeah, it's the
with
last
more
show. It's the last one for her, guys. So make sure you tune in on Friday for
concentrate.
that. And then we will be back to doing our regular Nearing Nirvana starting the first Friday of November. So if you guys have been missing the girls and I getting tipsy and crazy and playing games, that will be coming back the first Friday of November. Yeah, 300,000 followers. He's definitely an influencer.
You see, I'm telling you, I should like Channix to hang out with me so he can just like translate everything. Like I'm trying to say,
so, content creator, let's say. All right. So yeah, again, thank you to Cover Price, and make sure if you guys are not already, definitely sub the Bird City Comics text or email line. We are going to be doing promos only to those two channels all throughout November and December, actually. So a lot of holiday promo codes will be coming, but only if you are signed up to either our email subscribe list or our text subscribe list. It won't go off to everybody. We'll just kind of keep it kind of VIP, so to speak. All right, Sarah, thank you for being here. Any last words?
Sub the text line for Bird City, because I got my little VIP text today.
I know not everybody does. They were, yeah. Okay.
Right.
Good.
So anyways, again, Lucy has amazing taste in horror indie comics. So check her on Instagram. Also check out Mrs. Bird City on Instagram. Check out me on Instagram. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for stopping in. We love you all.
Namaste.
Namaste. And
have a safe Halloween.
Yeah, get some treats.
Give some treats.
No tricks, just treats. All right, guys, have a good night. We will see you on, well, Lucy will see you on Friday. Bye.